Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hi, this is Tammy Patzer. If you're tired of not getting results you desire, today is your chance to transform that forever. If you love what you do and want to stop feeling overwhelmed with the daily frustrations of your work and want to consistently follow through with the activities that would turn your life and business around, you're in for a real treat. Today, I am thrilled to introduce you to Marty L. Ward. Marty is known as the Kiss Procrastination Goodbye Expert. She is a straightforward, no-holds-barred, innovative transformation strategist and noted author of Get Clear, Get Confident, Get Going. Clients describe Marty's coaching as miraculous and extraordinary. In just one session, many transformed long-held beliefs into empowered action that turned their businesses around, saved families thousands, went from procrastination and no sales in months to doubling their number of clients and increasing business by 20% in just a week. Coaching others in how to honor and value who they are and to become the highest vision of themselves so that they can live a rich, abundant, and fulfilled life is Marty's passion and commitment. Marty is your secret weapon. She is the undisputed expert on how to get into inspired action each and every day, establish yourself in the marketplace, and to create a bodacious bank account in weeks, not months. Welcome, Marty.
Oh, thank you so much. It's such an honor to be on your show today.
Well, I'm really honestly thrilled. If you can tell me more about who you help, I'd really appreciate it.
Well, I help entrepreneurs and help them to be able to really know their core strengths because they have a common challenge. Many entrepreneurs do of that frustration, that chaos, that stuck and struggling. And what I do is I help them to be able to break through where they're procrastinating, break through where they've sort of come to a glass ceiling. Let's say they're very successful. And so they hit the ceiling there and they can't figure out how to break through to get to that next level. So whether people are starting and struggling or whether they're successful, either way, I help entrepreneurs to be able to know who they are, to work from their core strengths so that they can feel confident and secure each day as they do their work and be able to move consistently forward.
So can you give me 2 or 3 examples of how you help them?
Well, I have a very unique way of working. And what I do is I have a tag yourself for success system that I have designed over the years. I've been doing this for 10 years. I've been a teacher, a school-based social worker. I've been an entrepreneur for over 30 years. And I've been a transformation strategist for 10 years. And I've taken my life's work and work that I've done with someone whose name is Luis Garcia and taken his evolutionary and revolutionary understanding of the science of our emotions, of the universe, of who we are, and actually been able to bust through lots of the mythology that we have been taught over the years by well-meaning people who didn't know any different. And I've been able to help people to break through where they're stuck and struggling anywhere. Sometimes it's pretty amazing. It's like within 5 minutes to 45 minutes, we can break through something that's been holding them back for years, sometimes 40 years. And that's where I get so excited, Tammy. It's really like incredible. And I'm as thrilled every time as they are to see it happen. So by being able to decode emotions in a way that gives us the information we need to move forward, and then to teach them how to tag themselves for success with their talents, their abilities, and their gifts, which are the very essence of who we are. They're our soul's signature. And when we honor and value who we are, who we were meant to be, and we know how to manage situations, we use our emotional intelligence in the moment, well, we're able to really have that fulfilling life and to feel confident and secure about who we are and to be able to have the kind of life and business that we want.
So you talk about kissing procrastination goodbye, or kiss procrastination goodbye. That tells me that procrastination is a big issue for many of us. So how does that weave into the Tag Yourself for Success system? Well,
you see, what happened is I got my PhD in procrastination. And by getting my PhD in procrastination, what I mean is I went from being worth over $1 million to having $7 in my bank account 3 weeks before Christmas with 2 kids. And I was procrastinating my life away. I was chasing the shiny thing, looking for a way to fill my emptiness. You see, I'd gone from being very, very successful. I was a yacht broker in Annapolis, Maryland. I'd been a community leader. I'd even run a congressional campaign. I'd done many things in my life, or, community leader, etc. And I was very successful in Annapolis, but I said, I'm going to go to Miami and I'm going to just sell those big multi-million-dollar boats and I'm going to be rolling. And I went to Miami and I failed. Absolutely abject failure. And it broke me somehow. And this happens for many people, many entrepreneurs. We know that we know how to do it. But once we've had that kind of failure, sometimes it's because of like that, where I, in fact, failed myself by not being able to do the job that I wanted to do in Miami. Or sometimes it's a business partner who ends up stealing the company, or some kind of trauma like that that feels out of our control. People forget who they are and they can't find their way back. And so I was on this Walt Disney World ride to the bottom where I kept scrambling, and I got this company and that company, and I just kept throwing money and trying to solve my internal challenge by throwing money at it and getting programs and businesses. And it didn't work until one day. What I did is I stopped and realized how out of integrity I was with myself. And what I did is I started to write my first book. And that day that I closed 4 of my 5 businesses, I kept my coaching because that's who I am. And then I honored my ability to write. I wrote for 12 straight hours and broke through where I was stuck and struggling. What happens is that what we do is we shut down. We shut the thing that is our self-expression. We hide it and protect it because we've been hurt. And when we do that, we seek to fill our emptiness from the outside in rather than the inside out. But by stopping and doing what I loved, I expressed myself and opened that treasure box of who I was and am. And that's what I do for my clients. I help them to remember who they are, and I help them to find the thing that they so want to express, that is that expression of their soul's signature. And by doing that, it frees them up to be able to make more money, have richer relationships, to enjoy life, to feel fulfilled, nurtured, and supported.
Wow. Number one, the story of how you were this, fabulous yacht broker, and you thought that you could go to Miami and just kill it. And then, of course, you got knocked down and found out it wasn't as easy as you thought it would be. But to recognize that you were trying to fulfill yourself from the outside instead of from the inside out, I think is huge. So when you work with people, what would the process be if I wanted to work with you? How would we start?
Well, what I do with people who are really can see this value and see how it can make such a huge difference in their life. People have increased their income, sometimes 500% in 6 weeks, depending on what industry you're in. That's not true for all industries, of course, but anywhere from 10 to 500%, sometimes in 6 weeks. Is that what we do is I start by decoding your feelings. I start by finding out what it is that's got you stuck, what's holding you back, what's keeping you in that place where you're recycling, not good enough, not good enough, not good enough over and over again. And we discover what it is, because our feelings, I've discovered, are our best friends. They're there to awaken us to exactly what we need to know in the moment. And this is where I'm different from other people, the other coaches, because, when we talk about procrastination, there's probably thousands of articles out there that tell you, break it into small pieces, do one thing at a time, all this time management stuff. And we all know to do that. But that isn't it. What it is knowing how you feel in that moment. Is it that you're feeling not good enough, never going to make it, inadequate, insecure? What is it in that moment that you're not able to pick up the phone? We all know to make phone calls. As I'm on my Walt Disney World ride to the bottom, people are saying two things. One, Marty, just believe in yourself. Marty, love yourself. And Marty, just pick up the phone. And if you'll forgive me, what I say is, no shit, Sherlock. But tell me how I do that.
It's hard to pick up the phone. It's hard to pick up the phone. And I struggle with that all the time. And it's one of those things. And I think a lot of it has to do with your mindset and limiting beliefs. Because I remember one of my limiting beliefs was, who would ever listen to me? And when I realized that, how big is that to realize that you hold yourself back because you're afraid of people not wanting to hear from you. And I remember going way back into childhood, I always hid behind my father's knee because little girls were seen and not heard.
Yeah, I got raised with that one too. Yes.
But so what are some of the popular misconceptions about the services that you provide and how you do it?
Well, and on that note, congratulations. Not only are you being heard, but you now have your own show and podcasts and videos. And so bravo for you for being able to break through that and being able to allow yourself to have this wonderful expression and to give people like me the opportunity. So thank you very much.
Well, you're talking about your talents, abilities, and gifts. I love to do this, and I really enjoy talking to other people. And not only do I learn from every interview I do, I'm exposing this really good information to other people. Like talking to you, I mean, just in what you've said in the short time we've been together, I've already learned so much about recognizing the talents, abilities, and gifts that we all have just because of what you just told us. That's phenomenal.
Right. And so the feeling of someone not wanting to hear you, it's really you looking at where you don't listen to yourself. Where am I not listening to me? So that comes up to awaken you to say, oh, well, where am I not listening to me? Where am I not trusting myself? And then once we can identify that, then you can transform that to say, oh, well, in this incident, that's true. I didn't listen to myself. Next time I'll listen. So your feeling shows up to just awaken you. They're not your enemy that we've been taught. And this is what I do is I break through the myths that we've been raised with because people didn't know any better. People haven't understood what I understand now. And so this is really evolutionary and revolutionary, what I'm teaching. It's the quantum physics. It's the quantum mechanics. It's how Mother Nature designed us. And I have a a get to know yourself personality test that's going to be coming out soon. So everybody stay tuned. And I'll tell you at the end how you can find out more about that. But it's based on who you are. And so some of the misconceptions that people have is really when people are able to see the value of seeing things differently. And my only requirement in working with people is that they're willing to be willing to see things differently. And when they are able to transform, as I say, very quickly. Where I find often women have a challenge in allowing themselves to invest in themselves is that, we come last. We're giving to our family. And so when they say, well, gee whiz, I can't put that money and give that opportunity to myself, even though I can see, Marty, that this would be fabulous for me. But women tend to have a challenge with that in particular. So that would be where the misconception might come in. It's also when people don't believe in themselves, that they don't believe that they can make the change. It's not necessarily about what I'm offering, but that they say, oh yeah, everybody but me can do that. Well, what I have found, as long as you're willing to be willing, everyone can do it.
I think you're right, especially because I know I was a single mom with 3 kids, so everything I did, my money was always divided by 4. And a lot of times after I took care of the needs of the 3 children, there really wasn't anything left. And so even today, when I don't have all of those responsibilities any longer, I still will often really weigh anything I do for myself because of the what ifs, because of the years when I really did have to think of other people more than myself. But now, obviously, I can think of myself. So what do you think the main reasons are that people who you could help? I'm raising my hand right now saying Marty could help me have major breakthroughs. But what do you think stops people from taking that step forward to have these major breakthroughs? You mentioned it before about those glass ceilings. I spent, until I became self-employed or an entrepreneur, I spent many years in hitting that glass ceiling, always having to be better than the man who had the same position. I had to have a better work ethic. I had to have a higher education. And yet I always hit the glass ceiling and I couldn't move up because that was the way it was. And now, of course, I don't have those limitations, but often I think I do stop myself. It's like, because I don't have the experience to know what it's like to have a bigger life or to have that abundance that I know is mine. It's like, Tammy, it's right there. Take it. And it's like, but I don't know how it feels to have all of this. So what do you say to that, to people who have that?
When I help you to identify your talents, your abilities, and your gifts, that really helps people to really feel honestly confident about who they are. Because when people were saying, just love yourself, just believe in yourself, and no one could tell me how to do that, I actually have discovered how you fall in love with yourself, which is by honoring and valuing your talents, your abilities, and gifts, which again are the very essence of who you are, your soul's signature. And that's what makes you special. It isn't hippy dippy woo woo happy time. I'm going to tell you all the positive things, because I don't do any of that. What I do talk about is who you actually are and what you have to offer and the gift you have to offer the world. And once you own it down to your toenails, then no matter what anyone says or no matter what situation comes up, you're able to hang on to yourself. I do this with children because I formed a company called Create Confident Kids to eliminate bullying. And what I do is I create the confident kid who knows how talented, able, and gifted they are. So no matter what the bully says or does, they're able to believe in themselves rather than in the mean words of the bully. Because we can't stop the bully from doing whatever they want to say or do in the moment. All we can do is respond differently. So as we don't believe the mean words of the bully and we know who we are and we say, well, that's your opinion. And we really mean that because we really believe in ourselves. So it's the same for adults, where it's us really honoring and valuing who we are and saying, oh, no, this is who I am. And the mythology that, people will say to me, Marty, it's because I'm afraid of success that I'm not doing well. Oh, no, Marty, it's because I'm afraid of failure that I'm not doing well. No, that's mythology. When I really ask people about that, what it is that they're afraid to take a stand for who they are. They're afraid that some people won't like them. And the truth of it is that some people like you and some people don't when you're turning yourself into a pretzel to please others. And the thing is that you don't like you. And when you stop and you honor and value you and you take your stand and you say, this is who I am, and you let the chips fall where they may, some people will like you and some people won't. But the difference is that you'll like you. And that's the only person that matters. And so that can help you to be able to break through that glass ceiling where you can say, you know what? I'm taking my stand. Let the chips fall where they may. I'm going to be who I am and see what happens. And then it does take courage. It takes bravery to be able to allow yourself to do that. And then to just see what happens.
In my mind, it's just, wow, phenomenal information, powerful information. Where can people find out more and get more information about you and your services?
Well, if you go to discoveryourpowerwithin.com, discoveryourpowerwithin.com, you can find out more about me. You can sign up and get free 10 tips on how it'll help you to break through that procrastination, help you to achieve your goals consistently. And also, when you do that, what I can do is I'll also let you know when the Get to Know Yourself personality test comes out. You'll be, so that you can take that. It's going to be free. You're going to learn about your primary and secondary personality type. That's going to help you to be able to know where your strengths are, what aspects of you need to develop, to understand your relationship with yourself and others better, and to know your core fears, so that once you know your core fear, you can help to support yourself around that and be able to feel, again, more confident, more secure about who you are. And it'll help you with all kinds of relationships in your life, and particularly with your relationship with yourself.
Wow, that is phenomenal. So you can go to discoveryourpowerwithin.com. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And get that free information from Marty. And remember, Marty is the author of Get Clear, Get Confident, Get Glowing, Get Going. I have a new book title for you.
Yes, I see.
So, Marty, I really, really appreciate all the time that you've taken with us today. And another time, I think I'll invite you back and we'll talk more about the children and bullying, because I think having confident children is the key to having confident adults. And if we can get started when we are younger, wow, what powerful people we certainly can become. So thank you. I really appreciate your time.
You're welcome. And, I'd love to be able to give your audience a free 45-minute breakthrough session. Would I be allowed to do that?
Yes, that would be fabulous.
Well, write this down. It's conversationwithmarty.com. Conversationwithmarty.com. And that'll take you to my scheduler, and you can schedule a 45-minute breakthrough session. It's free. So schedule that, and we'll see where you might be stuck or struggling, or what, if you have a challenge with a relationship or the kids. whatever it is, we can have a conversation around that.
Wow, that is a phenomenal offer. So conversationwithmarty.com, 45-minute breakthrough session with Marty. So I highly recommend that everyone do that. Again, Marty, thank you.
Thank you so much.
This is Tammy Patzer. Go make it a beautiful day.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.